dynasty of Khmer monarchs oversaw one of the biggest, wealthiest, and most advanced kingdoms in Southeast Asia's history from the city of Angkor, which served as the country's capital. Numerous construction initiatives were carried out between the end of the 9th century and the beginning of the 13th century, with Angkor Wat being the most prominent. Suryavarman constructed it as a huge burial shrine to house his cremated ashes. About 3 decades are thought to have passed during construction. The temple was devoted to the gods Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu, and all of the original religious themes were borrowed from Hinduism. The Hindu mythology claims that Mount Meru, which is represented by the 5 central towers of Angkor Wat, is home to the gods. The complex's vast moat alludes to the oceans at the end of the globe, and the mountain is supposed to be encircled by an ocean. Access to the location is provided by a 617-foot, 188-meter bridge. 3 galleries, each divided by a paved walkway, must be traversed in order to access the temple. High-quality bas-relief sculptures depicting Hindu deities, historical Khmer themes, episodes from the Mahabharata, and scenes from the Ramayana dominate the temple walls. Angkor is an archaeological site located 4 miles 6 kilometers north of the present-day town of Siem Reap in what is now northwest Cambodia. From the 9th to the 15th centuries, which are regarded as the classical age of Cambodian history, it served as the capital of the Khmer Cambodian Empire. Angkor Wat, a temple complex constructed in the 12th century by King Suryavarman, reigned 1113–1150, and Angkor Thom, a temple complex constructed in the early 1200s by King Jayavarman, are 2 of the country's most imposing landmarks. At Angkor, there were several architectural and aesthetic modifications, as well as a shift in religion from the Hindu cult of the deity Shiva to that of the god Vishnu, and finally to a Mahayana Buddhist cult dedicated to the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara. Angkor served as a hub for government and the worship of a supernatural king. The city was conceptualized and built using political and religious ideas that were introduced from India and adapted to local customs. Since Yashovarman gave the city the name Yashodharapura, Angkor has been envisioned as a symbolic world that is organized in accordance with the blueprint offered by conventional Indian, Hindu, cosmology. The Phnom Baking, the only natural hill in the area, was transformed into a central mountain or pyramid temple that served as a representation of Mount Meru, the home of the gods. Each temple's core building was shaped similarly to how Mount Meru was situated. Each temple's outer walls were reminiscent of the mountains said to round the border of the universe or world. One of Angkor's most remarkable features, the extensive network of reservoirs, canals, and moats, was largely used for water management and rice irrigation, though it also symbolized the cosmic waters. Siem Reap in northwest Cambodia is where Angkor Wat is located. One of the most significant religious sites on Earth is a complex of temples. It now serves as both the pride and a symbol of Cambodia. The enormous temple complex draws almost 2.6 million tourists annually and is a must-see when traveling through the nation. So, if you're interested in learning more about Angkor Wat in Cambodia or are just planning a vacation, check out some of the most fascinating facts below. It is the world's largest religious structure. The biggest religious site in the world, Angkor Archaeological Park, spans a total area of 162.6 hectares, including a forested region. The ruins of the many capitals of the Khmer Empire are dispersed around the park. These were created between the 9th and the 15th centuries. There are also other smaller temples among the 72 major temples. The most well-known are the Bayon Temple at Angkor Thom and the Temple of Angkor Wat, both of which feature numerous sculptures as embellishments. One of the biggest active archaeological sites in the world is there. As one of the biggest active archaeological sites in the world and a significant cultural site, UNESCO declared Angkor Wat a World Heritage Site in 1992. As well as having significant architectural, archaeological, and artistic value, UNESCO calls it a key site exemplifying cultural, religious, and symbolic aspects. Previously a Hindu site, this temple is now Buddhist. In the year 802, King Jayavarman founded the Angkor state. Angkor Wat was first a Hindu temple. It was created by King Jayavarman for the god Vishnu. The other member of the Hindu trinity is Vishnu, also known as the Preserver. He safeguards the universe and keeps it from being destroyed. By the end of the 12th century, it had progressively begun to include Buddhist constructions over the years. Angkor Wat was inspired by Mount Meru. Angkor Wat's 5 central towers represent Mount Meru's 5 peaks. The center of the cosmos, according to Hindu, Jain, and Buddhist cosmology, is a golden mountain called Mount Meru. The god's residence and the center of the world are there. Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer are the 3 main Hindu deities who reside on Mount Meru. There also reside the Hindu demigods known as Devas. The name contains the hint. Khmer is the official language of Cambodia. In Khmer, the name Angkor Wat translates to City of Temples. However, its original name was Vra-Vishnulak. Sanskrit, the sacred language of Hinduism, is used to translate this as the sacred dwelling of Vishnu. In the west is Angkor Wat. Unlike Angkor Wat, the majority of Khmer temples do not face east. Vishnu, who is connected with facing the west, is one theory for this. The temples at Angkor Wat share the same devotion to Vishnu. A other hypothesis has to do with life and death. Life-giving sun rises in the east and sets in the west, associated with death. According to some theories, Angkor Wat's initial purpose may have been to serve as a burial site, similar to the Egyptian pyramids of Giza. On Cambodia's flag is a picture of Angkor Wat. Since 1850, Angkor Wat has been depicted on the Cambodian flag. It is one of only 6 states with a flag that features a structure. Afghanistan, Bolivia, Portugal, San Marino, and Spain make up the other nations. According to inscriptions, the building of Angkor Wat is supposed to have required 35 years, 300,000 workers, and 6,000 elephants. Angkor Wat was initially planned and built as the King's State Temple and capital city in the first part of the 12th century under the reign of Suryavarman. Since there was no machinery at the time, it was constructed without using any tools. Sandstone weighing 5 million tons was utilized to construct Angkor Wat. The blocks of sandstone utilized came from the sacred mountain of Phnom Kulen, which is located more than 50 kilometers/31 miles away from the construction location. Given that each block can weigh up to 1,500 kilograms, 3,300 pounds, moving this sandstone must have required a staggering amount of labor. The sandstone is said to have been brought to the Siem Reap River using canals and then floated down the river on rafts since the workmen had to become inventive. The city of Angkor was lost for several centuries after 1432. The ruins were periodically discovered by passing Buddhist monks, but no one alive could recall or comprehend its history. In 1860, Henri Mouhot, a French explorer, found Angkor Wat. A year later, when he passed away in Laos from a fever, people read about the temples in his posthumously released writings. Years of theft resulted in many statues at Angkor Wat being dismembered and sold to private collectors. In 1992, it was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which sparked an international initiative to stop future harm. The temple is situated on a terrace that is elevated above the city. Each level is higher than the one before it, with 3 rectangular galleries leading to a central tower. At the ordinal corners of the 2 inner galleries, there are 4 sizable towers on each side, encircling a higher 5th tower. The mountains of Meru are symbolized by this design, which is also referred to as a quincunx. The features of the temple are all set back towards the east since it faces west, providing greater room to fill each enclosure and gallery on the west side. Additionally, the steps on the west side are shallower than those on the other sides. Its columns, lintels, surfaces, and even roofs are almost entirely carved. There are miles of reliefs depicting themes from Indian mythology, including dancing celestial girls with exquisite hairstyles, griffins, winged dragons dragging chariots, and troops following an elephant-mounted king. There are over 1,000 square meters, 11,000 square feet of bas reliefs on the gallery wall alone. Some of the Angkor walls had holes, which suggests that bronze sheets may have been used to embellish them. In the past, these were highly treasured and a popular target for thieves. Without visiting Angkor Wat, a trip to Cambodia would be incomplete. Explore the lost city of Angkor, the biggest sacred structure on Earth, by traveling far into the Cambodian forest. Many temples are encircled by enormous tree roots, beautiful bas-reliefs depict old tales, and enormous sandstones are scattered across the landscape. This is all for today. Thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. See you soon.